Hello. Sorry about the delay. Oh my god, are you seriously going to start whinging now as soon as I start? No, let's see. Can I also see this? Ah, there we go. Ah, perfect. There we go. Now. Hello, folks. There we go. We're getting all in here. Yeah, we're just getting set up. More or less. Hi. Yeah, sorry about the delay there. I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to share this link. Yeah, I know. Oh, King Edward III has joined us. Hello, King Edward. With that wonderful painting from like the 15th century. I came across that painting so many times where I was like, that's probably not what he looked like. Most certainly that's not what the what do you call it looked like. That's not what the armor looked like. Red Sonic, you are my biggest fan. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just trying to share. I need to do this more often, folks. I really do, because I always enjoy it when I get in here. Let's see, live. There we go. Not coming up there. Oh well. Let's see. Let us see. Yes, Kenoff. I am Kenoff. Why is my right ear going crazy? Big Lives? I don't know why your right ear is going crazy. Who is to know in this day and age? Let me just see. If I go through it this way. I'm just looking for a shareable link. And... ah, there we go. Aha! Oh, no. Pause that because I don't want big, mad, crazy feedback loop. Okay, so let us see. I'm going to post it up on the old Facebook and see who wants to join us through Facebook. And I will post it up through... can everybody hear me okay? Just making sure. Let's see. Celebrating 10 years of Manny Man Does History. Join us live now. Wonderful. Oh, that was glorious. Let me see. There we are. Cool. So, can you make 10 more facts videos? I should. Yes, you can hear me. Thank you so much for making sure that. Yes, can hear you. Thank you. Today is your birthday, Stephen Quinn. Happy birthday, La Bre, son of Dutch. That's class. Happy birthday, and it is indeed Manny Man Does History's 10th birthday. Now, some of you clever clogs who were here a couple of years ago, it was 2020, you might have been like, but John, were you not celebrating 10 years of Manny Man then? And yes, I was celebrating 10 years of Manny Man on the internet. But it took a little while for me to kind of really work out what I was doing with Manny Man, what I wanted to do. I started off with a lot with web comics, and they are actually still, you can still find them up on like smackjeeves.com. And like I was playing around with those, and I was doing some Manny Man Does Shakespeare books as well, which I really need to get back to because they were good. And now I can actually draw them better. And I probably said that 4 years ago too. But yeah, eventually it got to a point where I was like, I am going to do this I'm going to do this Irish history video. I had just finished work illustrating a friend's book of mine, a friend of mine's book, Letterkenny, Where the Winding Swilly Flows by Kieran Kelly. And shout out to Kieran Kelly, who's playing Drumbo, is playing right now in the Ballard Theatre. Congratulations. I had just finished working on his book, and so I'd been doing a whole pile of Irish history illustrations, and I was in that zone, and I was like, do you know what? I want to keep going. And so I kept going. And where I kept going was, I always had this idea of kind of doing quick, concise history. And as far as YouTube was going, there weren't too many others doing it at that point. I mean, I think the Green brothers, Hank and John Green, were doing Crash Course at that point. I don't think Oversimplified was on the scene. I don't think Sweeney was on the scene. Oh, my dog's just made a weird noise. It sounded like electric arching. So, like, I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I am pretty confident that I was kind of one of the earlier animated history video channels, and sometimes I look on in jealousy at the other at the other channels and how much bigger they got over the years. But however, why do you start whinging once I start live streaming? This is my dog, Coo. Hey, Coo, come here. Come here. Come here. Here he comes. Oh, hello. How are you? Sit. Oh, aren't you so well behaved? Isn't he so well behaved? Hello. Yeah? Snuff, snuff, snuff. Snuff, snuff, snuff. I mean, I don't know why you want to go outside. It's raining outside. Yeah. So, let's see some of the messages coming in. So this is more of a proper 10th anniversary. Exactly, yeah. This is, like when I was marking that, I was like, yeah, this is 10 years of Manny Man on the internet, but now this is 10 years proper of Manny Man Does History. So I did that Irish history video, and it blew up across Ireland. And so the next kind of one that I went to do, I was like, well, maybe I should do something a wee bit more global. So I did World War One. And oh wow, Big Lives, thank you so much for the super chat. Can't wait to see more of the lore series. Yes, I need to get back to those. I am currently working on a couple. I'm kind of like juggling a couple of different ones, but I am working on the next part of the Middle Earth one. I really want to do a Metal Gear Solid one. I really want to do that one, and I should probably do that one just for funsies. I feel like my favourite videos are the remastered World War videos. It's so damn amazing. Funnily enough, I have been thinking of reapproaching particularly the World War ones, and particularly World War Two, because I feel like I have so much more to say, and so much more understanding, and so much more to kind of see and do about it, and I think I could actually tell the story better. Obviously, it kind of goes against the whole, World War II in 7 minutes. But YouTube has moved beyond, the whole, as quick as possible. Although, that being said, it's kind of gone back to that with the shorts and stuff. But yeah. Let's see, my favourite are US history. Now, I've been watching the English and British monarchs on, John D. Ruddy, yeah. Have you ever considered making a video on the Troubles? Also, happy 10th anniversary. Thank you so much, Communist Cuphead. Which is not an insult, that's your username. Power to the people. Yes, I definitely, sooner rather than later, I think now is a good time to do a video on the Troubles, given that, there's a lot of the kind of controversies and questions. Dude, leave that alone. Oi! Leave that alone. There's given the kind of controversies around certain kind of, say, at the Rugby World Cup at the moment, go Ireland, but the singing a zombie, and a lot of kind of younger people kind of singing all the up the Ra stuff, and I predicted this years ago, and I knew that this was the way that it was going to go, was that there is this kind of romanticization of the Troubles, You know, the further into the past it goes, and the further into non-living memory it goes. Obviously, there's still loads of people who do remember, but there's loads of people in their mid-20s and younger who don't. And so there's no memories of the bomb scares and the checkpoints and all of that goes with that. So I would definitely like to do a good video about the Troubles to clear up a lot of stuff and show a lot of stuff. And I mean, always respectfully, I always do my best to be as respectful as possible when I make my videos, but there are probably some things that need to be said. But yeah, I definitely. So if your series thus far, the Monarchs of England and Middle Earth, big history and lore buff. I'm really enjoying doing the Monarchs of England videos, which is ironic, me being an Irishman. But like that's the thing. It's I do still find it very fascinating and where it interlocks with our histories and different things like that. But I suppose I'm able to look at it from an outside, semi-outside perspective, and I think, you know, that perspective, you know, because I would be cynical towards it too, and it's like, oh look, you know, this person gets this job because they've got magic blood, you know, so, but at the same time, they're all really interesting stories and all really interesting things. So yeah, no, definitely. I am really enjoying it. Let's see, what else do I have going on here? 10 years to Manny Man's channel. Boy, time flies. Technically, this channel is actually older. This channel goes back. So the first video that I posted, I wonder, can I show you this? Your YouTube studio content. So there's a lot of stuff that you don't get to see on my YouTube channel, and well, let's see. Oh, I can just filter it to oldest, can't I? No, or maybe not. Oh, can I? Why can't you just do a skip to the end list? Okay, there we go. That's slightly better. But yeah, so like this, my YouTube account is my like teenage YouTube account that I set up when I was like 15 or so. Like more like about a year or two after YouTube started, because you know, there were those initial ones that was like, oh, this channel is you need to be of a certain age, and I'm like, yes, I'm of a certain age. And so a lot of my oldest videos are like, let me see. Yeah, so that was posted. My first video was posted on the 18th of September 2006. Oof. Which is entertaining. Hold on, I think I can do a wee bit of a screen share. There's nothing. Is there anything on here? Yeah, I think I can show you this. Let me see if I put this down. Ah, there we go. So there we go. Yeah, that works. Yeah, so like these are some of my oldest videos, and they're all private now. Like, it's a bloody flick book, which is literally just a dude beating another dude to death with a club. And that I did that one when I was in college. But yeah, my very first one was Under the Bridge, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge. It was a puppet that I made. I still have that puppet on a shelf somewhere. But it was a puppet, and I made it with the worst little webcam. But it was just a puppet, this weird kind of, it was a Macbeth witch puppet that I made for the Leave Insert. And she was lip syncing to Under the Bridge by Chili Peppers, and I cut it all together. And this other one, Kill the Cave Troll, let's see, this was posted December 24th, 2006. I was having a very exciting Christmas Eve on 2006. Oh man, what age what age was I there? I was 17. Oh, John, you cool guy. Christmas Eve. They kill the cave troll. That was. Do you want to go outside? I'm going to kick this guy outside. 2 seconds. You silly goose. Right, move. Don't flat tire me on the way out. On you go. There we go. Away he goes. Pew. Sorry about that, folks. He does that sometimes. He's like, "Oh, you're in the middle of something." Well, I'm in the middle of something too. Yeah. So yeah, kill the cave troll. That was a thing. Yeah, it was basically I took the scene in Fellowship of the Ring, where where the cave troll comes in. I cut out all of the bits where the cave troll attacks anyone, and so it just looks like everyone is just ganging up on the cave troll, and it's very entertaining. But yeah, all these other ones, these are silly ones. Some of them aren't even my videos, like that bang one. There was a couple of friends of mine who recorded that years ago. Do not try that one at home. Little Big Adventure. These were ones that I shot. You can see how bad the quality is on the camera. Oh my god. Trogdor the Burninator. I made like a little plasticine video of of Trogdor. That was fun. And yeah, there's loads of oh yeah, that was from Celebration Europe. I went to the Star Wars Celebration Europe. But let's see, yeah, there's loads of stuff. Yeah, and I was trying out loads of different things. But yeah, this was kind of the precursor to Irish history, which came out the year before, 21st of September. But ultimately, what happened? You got so here we've got the Irish history in 6 minutes, which came out on the 14th of October, and right now it is sitting at 665,497 views, which is lovely. But we'll look at some of the early ones too, because they went really well. Some of those are private now. Huh, there you go. World War One is it's nearly on 4 million views, and World War Two, which was then May 20th, 2014. God, I was busy those first couple of. Although it's funny though, because like I see, part of me is always like, how was I able to go through so many videos in that space of time? But then I go back and look at the illustrations sometimes, and some of either the details are just so rough around the edges, or occasionally there just wasn't as much thought as I put into them now. Like there was one I was looking at from the American Revolution, where it was like all the guys writing the Declaration of Independence, and you've got John Adams in the background. But I was just looking at the picture of John Adams that I have in the background, and it's like little old John Adams, because I literally just saw one of the famous paintings of John Adams, which was done towards the end of his life, and me looking at it now going, John Adams wasn't a little old man at that point. He was young and vigorous, and played by Paul Giamatti. So World War II is nearly at 5 million. And Cuban Missile Crisis, it made it over the million. Fair play. And I think still to this day, the original Cold War video is my most viewed video, and it's 5 million views. And then French Revolution's it's heading up towards 2 million. Although probably all of these kind of plateaued a little bit with because I did the remasters, and that's usually the one that the algorithm kind of sends towards them to. And then Easter Rising, I still didn't reach 1 million, but still, I'm still very proud of that one. And Civil War, very proud of that one. And yeah, the Presidents, that seems so long ago now. I mean, it kind of was. Yeah, those were the days. But yeah, so that's just a little kind of look into the early days of all of that stuff. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the comments, shall we? 10 years. 10 years to Manny Man's channel. Boy, time flies. Apologies, I'm still working on my Cyrillic pronunciation. That is something. Oh, what's the? Well, it looks like an R, but it's not because the P is an R. Something like that. Not enough people know about the Irish Civil War. Yeah. Well, that's quite often get away and make some of those. I'm wanting to actually go back and make some more Irish history videos, like specifically Irish history videos, because the World Wars and stuff. It's like there's loads of people making those, but whereas the Irish history stuff, it's a wee bit more niche and also needs to be seen. So I do want to go like do a 1798 rebellion video. I definitely one about the famine, which is already kind of stewing in here, and I'm gonna make that one sooner rather than later, I think. Let's see, do you ever actually look at your Discord server? Honestly, I should, but I don't. I'm gonna go look at it now. Let's see, open Discord. I really should. John D. Ruddy server. I mean, nobody's posted here since like 2020, so hi, I'm here now. Happy 10th anniversary to Manny Man Does History. There we go. But yeah, there's Discord. I've found it so tricky just keeping up with so much, particularly over the last year. Well, actually, the last couple of years, and I know I've always kind of had excuses and stuff, but as I like to say, reasons, not excuses, because so from throughout all of 2021 and 2022, I have been renovating a house. This space that I'm in now, we used to live in here, which was insane. Like, I can actually show you a little bit. So that's just a big screen that we have for a projector, where I stream my videos sometimes. But we lived in this very small space for 2 years, so like mentally that was difficult for kind of getting work done, but also even what else? Something. Yeah, it was difficult to do. And then this year, we had a baby, which you might have seen in some of my. I made a couple of cameos in my daily history videos, and so he's adorable. He's wild cute, so he is. I'm actually just gonna pop this on here, just making sure that it is. This is all working well. See, some YouTubers have like entire. 14th of October. No, that's me. Some YouTubers have like entire teams behind them. I don't. It gets lonely sometimes, to be quite honest. And I think because my videos are so like kind of labor intensive. Where am I? Oh, cool. That's fine. That's where I am in the chat. But yeah, it is kind of frustrating sometimes because it's so labor intensive. I have to draw every picture, and for ages I've been trying to work out how to get a team in to help do that, but it's still a lot of funding problems in that regard. So if you want to support me, you can do so on patreon.com. I've been thinking of setting up memberships on YouTube as well, and kind of doing that a wee bit. So let me know what you think on that, if that is something you would be interested in. Let me see. What's the story? Johnny Boy says, Foley, I was 2 in 2006. That's lovely. Thanks for making me feel old. Let's see. John, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with the royal family trees of Middle-earth. Noldor, Tellery, Beor, Hador, Haleth, Quendine, Numenor, Arnor, Gondor, and Khazad-dûm. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Especially when the Rings of Power haters show up in my comment section. Going, oh, this is so much better. Can you do something on the 30 Years' War? Which 30 Years' War? There's a couple, but yeah, no, definitely. Daddy Ruddy. Yeah, that's me now. I am Daddy Ruddy. In whichever way you want to put that or do that. But yes, I have a son. I have a son. The little heir to the throne, Hugo. And I love him so much. I'm really enjoying parenthood. And it's great. And I've been feeling less bad about kind of being slower here. I mean, that's slightly a lie. I do still feel bad because I really enjoy getting these out. And like, I have so many videos in here that I just want to get out, but I just don't have the time / and or funding to get them out at the moment. So again, patreon.com/John D. Ruddy. But yeah, Hugo's great, and I love spending time with him. He's coming up on 7 months, and he's just adorable. And I cannot wait to just see the little person that he becomes. And he's just, like, already, he's just so much fun. He's funny, and he's kind of got a good wee sense of devilment about him, which in the years to come will probably both be a blessing and a curse, but sure, we'll see. Have you ever thought about a video on the 1798 rebellion? Were you not listening to me? I said I was. Yes, that's a yes. Be nice, John. Second time to ask, how long have you been doing this style, and how would you feel people using it? Asks Strokeman. Well, I mean, I don't mind fan art. And occasionally I do get fan art, which is I always enjoy. If you're using it as a means of, telling another story, or like making your own videos in Manny Man style, I would ask not to do that, because that is my style and my character, and but with regards learning how things work, learning how pictures work. Like, I mean, I have copied loads of other illustrators and things, for fun and drawing in my own time. Like this piece here that I did. It's up on the wall, framed. This is a poster for, I know there's a big light reflection in it, but this was a big 8-piece poster for Age of Ultron by something Park. There's two illustrators who worked on this one. I cannot think though of their names. But I did that back in 2014, just for fun. But it's doing that kind of stuff is a great way to learn how these pictures work. In order to kind of see how they're working, see how they're doing, and all of that. But yes, please do not take my style and use it for your own content. Per se, because it's not officially licensed Manny Man stuff. But yeah, like, feel free to draw him for funsies. And if you're going to share it online, please tag me in it. I'd love to see some fan art. The backwards is sound. I don't know what that is. Come back on Generation Dan sometime. The epileptic comic. Yes, Dino. Dino and you. Atlas, how are you? Yes, I definitely want to get back on with you. For anyone who hasn't heard, go check out the Generation Dan podcast. I have been on with them a couple of times. They're available on YouTube. Are they on Spotify? I'm not sure, but they're definitely on YouTube. And they are so much fun. I've been on talking about history, about showbiz, about love life, all sorts of interesting generational conversations. So go check that out. Which would be more likely to make a video in the future, the 9 Years' War or the 11 Years' War? I'm going to be very honest. when wars are called 9 Years' War and 11 Years' War and 30 Years' War and 100 Years' War, I find them very difficult to tell apart sometimes. 9 Years' War, if you're chatting about the war in Ulster, between the... Because this is the thing, there are multiple 9 Years' Wars and multiple 30 Years' Wars and things like that. And technically I've already kind of half done a video on the 9 Years' War. If you go check out my Flight of the Earls video. 11 Years' War, I'm not sure which one that is. Can't know everything either, that's the thing. After Monarchs of... Oh, did someone... Yay! Hey folks, these are all coming out of my Discord now. Yay! Oh dear. It's Discord at John D. Ruddy or whatever it is. Hi John, love your work. Question, Chaos Master. Will you cover about Israel and Palestine history? Yes, definitely. Particularly given, and I was expecting this topic would probably arise during this. I'm not going to go too much into it for today, given this is celebratory, but I do have a couple of things to say. Oh God, he has a statement. I'm like, oh God, how am I going to get here? As a person who has grown up amidst Irish history and the dissonance of supporting Irish independence, but also not supporting atrocities, so it's like I support Irish independence, but I do not support the atrocities committed by the IRA. In the same way as I support Palestinian independence and Palestinian nationhood, but also denounce the but I denounce the horrendous attacks done by Hamas. But it is so delicate, and the problem is the internet has a very great way of just completely polarizing arguments with very little nuance. And this is such a nuanced topic and such a nuanced thing to explore. And you've got so many people who are just waiting for you to either hesitate or say, oh, well, we need to think about Palestinians. That, all right, well, you support Hamas, therefore I'm going to stop listening to you. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. I think the Israeli government, who are painfully right-wing and do seemingly want to wipe Gaza off the face of the earth, or at least the people of it, at least, because it's good land. Why waste not, want not? That's colonialism. That's what happened all across North America throughout the 19th century. Of well, they attacked us, so we're going to go and wipe out their entire civilization. Oh, they're not living here anymore. And indeed the kind of dubious, questionable reports of the very graphic, I'm not going to go into the details, but decapitations of very young people, which so far as I know has only been reported initially by one Israeli military person, and then from there was reported by and again, this is not a denial that children have died and babies have died. That's that has happened, and that's heinous. But the barbarosity of a lot. I shared there on Instagram an image from the 1640s of Irish barbarians with little, very, very young people on pitchforks, and just showing the savagery of them. And again, it's not to deny that children were probably killed during the uprising of 1641 and beyond, but the probable exaggeration and dehumanization of the other, to go, well, look, it's the monstrousness, it's the other, And again, I'm going to finish shortly, but I do have one or two more things to say about this. I do also think that the Western world, a lot of it, you know, and their wholehearted kind of knee-jerk support of Israel is frustrating, and quite often I feel like it comes out of an overcorrection of the anti-Semitism that led to the Holocaust. And that's not to say that, obviously, anyone who's seen my videos knows, you know, where I stand on anti-Semitism. It is horrendous. And again, I shouldn't have to clarify this, but here I am. You know, but when you look at the bigger, broader pictures, you know, when you see the origins of things, but it has been weaponized by a very manipulative right-wing government in Israel, and has been used by some, not all, but some, as a veil to hide behind. And so with that kind of overcorrection from the West on top of the general Western Islamophobia, it's just a formula for absolute carnage and disaster. And like, people are saying, you know, that this Hamas attack was it was like Israel's 9/11, and loads of people are just, oh yeah, this is Israel's 9/11, this is Israel's 9/11. And apologies, YouTube, you're probably not going to like all of this, but here you go. But loads of people are like, oh, Hamas, or Israel's 9/11. But it's like, nobody, they're saying it without even contemplating the massive knee-jerk response that came out of 9/11 that led to a serious upping of surveillance, of Islamophobia, of vengeful wars with some nations that had nothing to do with 9/11. The quote-unquote war on terror. You know, how are you to defeat a concept? So, like, that was what arose from 9/11, and we're still riding those waves of that trauma that was led, you know. So there's a lot there. So to answer your question, yes, I do absolutely intend to make a video. When? 'Tis another question. The reason why, I mean, I've been wanting to do a video about it for years, but I've always kind of wanted to find a place in the narrative to actually end the story, but this is an ongoing story, and I'm going to have to pick somewhere, you know. And I suppose in the same way as I've done that with my, which ones? President's videos. Chaos Master! Hi John, love your work. Thank you very much. Let me see what we've got. The Sponge. John, where did you get your art style from? Like the big eyes and everything. I suppose there's elements of... It's funny, actually, like when I look at some of the things that I was drawing growing up, I do see a lot of kind of where some of that art style came from. I was a massive Banjo-Kazooie fan, and one of the very entertaining features of Banjo-Kazooie was they literally just slap pairs of eyes on anything to personify them. So they're like, oh look, it's an egg. Then all of a sudden, two little eyes on it. You know, it's the basic principle of slapping two googly eyes on something, and all of a sudden it's a thing. So I drew a lot of that stuff. I actually have a lot of that old artwork. I'm going to do another live stream, I think, at some point, and I'm going to show you some of my old artwork, because it's quite entertaining. And then on top of that as well, when I was kind of 10, 11, 12, I drew a lot of South Park. And because that is the level of the sense of humor of South Park for 13-year-olds. But I drew a lot of South Park, and so I really appreciated the minimalist style. Of course, that's exactly what my 13-year-old self would have said. But no, like I really kind of appreciated just the simple style and how that worked. So I suppose there's kind of elements of that helped shape. Some people kind of leave in the comments like, he looks like Fly Guy. I have never seen Fly Guy until people had pointed that out. And I do see the similarities. But it's big difference is Fly Guy has a little nose. Massive difference is Fly Guy has, and obviously, wings and stuff. But like, I mean, with regards cartoon features, big eyes isn't like completely big eyes and little stick arms and stuff. You can tell the difference between Fly Guy and Manny Man. There is the difference. Let's see. Watching from Canadian province of Alba Nua, or in English Nova Scotia, Alba Nua, Aintach or Untach is it? I think in Scots Gaelic. Very good. How's it going? I always wanted to go to Nova Scotia. Apparently, or is it Newfoundland? Well, possibly Nova Scotia as well. There's loads of like really bizarre Irish accents where of people who've never set foot in Ireland, but they've just stayed in their own little community since coming from Ireland. So there's loads of these accents over in Newfoundland and probably Nova Scotia as well, of all these Irish accents going on, and you hear them kind of going on the fishing boats and come back in, and you're kind of trying to work out. I was like, where are they from? Let's see. Will you cover history about the War of Terror 2001 to 21 and issue of Islamophobia? To be honest, the major problem with things like that is they are often kind of an ongoing thing. But it is definitely worth exploring. I do try to keep a little bit further back in time just because it's a little bit easier to, the further back in history you go, the easier it is to kind of interpret and be less political about it. Not so much less political, because all history is politics. All history is politics. And some people, sometimes be like, oh, why are your videos so political? It's like, it's a video about the presidents of the United States. How can it not be political? Like... I think the YouTube algorithm might hate it, which I get very annoyed because that I occasionally am making decisions about what videos I make and not make because of the algorithm, but sadly that is the case at times. Who's watching the Ireland All Blacks game tonight? Me. I am going. We're going out for dinner after this, and I'm going to watch it. I've got my Ireland jersey on. Well, not on right now. I've actually got a Manny Man t-shirt on right now. I should probably take this off, but it's really cozy. Let's see. Ali 1391 strikes back. Love your Captain Scarlet user thing. John, where did you get... that's Palestine experiences 9/11 from Israel practically every other year. That's the thing. That is the thing. Tale as old as time. Oh, wow. Super chat from VMan29397. Ever think about doing history on Caribbean countries like my homeland, Puerto Rico? Did you know one of our independence advocates, Pedro Albizu Campos, was a consultant on the Irish Constitution? Oh, I did not know that. I like that. I'm going to write that name down. Because again, as I say, you can't know everything. Pedro Albizu Campos. That's fascinating. Also, statehood for Puerto Rico. Should totally have that type of representation. It's ridiculous that it doesn't. Yeah, that would be a fascinating one. I could take it like island by island. I'd love to do one on Jamaica. I'd love to do one on Cuba. Definitely like to do one on Puerto Rico. I suppose sometimes kind of, when you're doing a general history like that on kind of one place, it's tricky because like you can kind of start at the start and go all the way through. But like perhaps if I like pick a war, like say like the Spanish-American War, to explore a lot of that history there, could be done, or indeed the golden age of piracy and all of that. Oh, that's my dad. I'll chat to him after. He's clearly not watching my live stream right now. Either that or he is, and he's like, "Oh, you're on the internet." Also, what kind of research do you do for your videos? What kind of research? I do loads of research. Oh, you have to message. Loads of books. And loads of books. Yeah, there we go. Loads of books. A lot of illustrated books. But to be very honest, I oh, excuse me. I often start with Wikipedia. Oh, everybody just shocking her. But no, I find Wikipedia is very good at the general, and it's so accessible with regards, it mentions something, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. Click on that little word, and then I'm down a little rabbit hole of what that is, and so then that helps shape the general kind of idea. But then, obviously, it being on Wikipedia, I'll go and double and triple check it elsewhere in other books and other sources, primary sources and whatnot. A lot of primary sources available online, a lot of old archives and stuff. But then kind of for illustrations, for like, what books do I have here? I've got The Plantagenets, A History of England's Bloodiest Dynasty. And I've drawn this actually for the Wilton Diptych. Let's see. Oh God, there's a big stack of books. That's about. This is a book on old Belfast. I love old photos. Timelines of world history. I'll be honest, I haven't gone through these yet. These ones are actually new. History of Britain in 100 maps. I love maps. And so yeah, because I'm so visual. I don't know if you know this, but I'm very visual. What city is that? Is that New Parade, Old Park? That is London. What's that? Penitentiary. Where is that? That's fascinating. Over by Vauxhall. There's a big prison over by Vauxhall, apparently. I did not know that. I don't think it's there now. I'll have to go and check. Oh, another super chat from V-Man. Thank you so much. More of an independence guy from my homeland. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I stand by that too. Yeah. I would hope that there would be a kind of a strong enough kind of economy for that. But yeah, again, I don't know enough about it to weigh up. But I would, I'd imagine there are certain benefits to being part of the United States, etc. However, there are a lot of not so benefits being part of, because it's a bit of a dumpster fire right now. Let's see. Are you open to connecting to other YouTubers who have roots in some of current issues happening today? Absolutely. If anybody of them, any of them's watching right now, like I'm always up for going on to podcasts and things, talking about the kind of historical end of things, but also like even kind of Irish history or things that I would be knowledgeable about, or even just comedy things or pop culture things, because like I am a big nerd as well. Like, there's a lot of rubbish up there's Lego, Mewtwo and Gyarados and a whole pile of Gundam and countless DVDs and madness and consoles. And I need to do more gaming as well. I have not played a game in ages. Let's see. Mason, hi John. I just want to say you are one of my favourite history YouTubers. Happy 10th anniversary on Manny Mandel's History. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'd love to connect with other YouTubers. Sometimes I just find it really hard to. I need to go to more networking events. I need to go to like VidCons and stuff like that to actually meet people, because sometimes, like, a couple of people I have connected through like Instagram and stuff, but you know, and everybody has their own life, and it's like when you haven't met them in real life too, and sometimes people can be wary of who is this person really, and are they only really reaching out to me for clout or what? And I can very much appreciate that, but it's like, no, I'm reaching out because I care about making history accessible to everyone, and so the more people I can connect with, absolutely, I'd love to. Videos about the highest office in the USA. Why is this such a political video? Yeah, I know, right? Trucanero. Hi John. Oh yeah, I read that one. Would you ever consider doing a video on human going explore and discover space and the universe itself? Oh, well, funnily enough, actually, one of the most, I think one of the most foundational books that I have, well, I say read, I listened to the audiobook of it, is Bill Bryson's A Brief History of Almost Everything, I think. And it's just this wonderfully concise, basically it's the history of science, and the history of discoveries and the history of that. So I would gravitate towards maybe something like that. And then it was really interesting when I finally watched Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos, because it was basically there were animated sequences that are just straight out of that, and I was like, oh my god, I remember listening about that when I was in college. Yeah, like I'd be fascinated to do like an anthropology video of like looking at the earliest days. The tricky thing is like there's so much stuff that's kind of contentious and so much stuff that's not known, and you know, and sometimes like you'll have fossils that, you know, they think, right, these are 2 million years old, and then they'll find the same fossil that's actually 3 million years old, and they're like, we have to completely rethink what we think about all this. So it could be tricky, and maybe illustrating that might be a little bit tricky, but I don't know, I like a challenge. Do you know the conflict between Israel and the Arabs? Yeah, I've been talking about that. Hey John, my favourite video is the World War II one of the original. Yes, absolutely. I do like that video. I want a video about the Spanish Civil War, please. Ooh, yes, that would be a good one. A lot of Irish people went and fought in the Spanish Civil War on both sides, because there was a lot of people who had fought in the Irish War of Independence, Irish Civil War, and kind of got to the end of it and they were like, I need to be fighting, and they were also radicalized and kind of politicized, that then you have this massive movement in Spain where you got fascism on one side, socialism on the other, and they're like, no, we're going to go and fight, but different people had different political views, so they ended up going and fighting on different sides. Do you know Oversimplified? Not personally. I know the channel. I don't watch Oversimplified all that much. I have seen a couple of videos, but I don't watch. I try to avoid watching other videos like that are like mine, because I don't want to run the risk of accidentally or otherwise, you know, kind of seem to be taking stuff. I mean, obviously, you know, you're making stuff about the same thing. So, like, you see that on late night TV all the time, where you've got like John Oliver and what's his name, Stephen Colbert, and all the different ones, and they're all making roughly the same jokes about the same political things, because it's like there's only so many jokes you can tell about them, or it's like, well, that's the obvious one, or that's the semi-obvious one, so you'll often land on the same thing. But I try to avoid watching them because I don't want to actively do it. If I do it accidentally, that's one thing, but I don't want to do it intentionally or being accused of doing it intentionally. I remember seeing a History Matters video that explained why the Romans never colonised Ireland, which they called Hibernia. It mentioned a caveat that Roman coins were found buried there. Thoughts? Well, yeah, I mean, the whole thing of Roman coins being found here is that, I mean, Ireland would have absolutely traded, and indeed I would say that the British Romans would have absolutely traded with the Celts in Ireland. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, there is a kind of a simplified version of it where apparently the Romans were really kind of wary of redheads and thought that they were the fiercest of the warriors, which is why they didn't conquer Scotland either, or the Picts at that point. But also, they called it Hibernia, which literally is the land of winter. So, you know, I think they just kind of went out to Ireland on a really bad day and were like, no, this is too miserable. They're like, Britain's miserable enough. We don't want to bother conquering Ireland. No, thank you. So, is Kings of England series the only series you're working on? No, I was saying earlier, I'm actually working on quite a few. I'm working on loads. That's the major one. At the moment, it's been the one that's really kind of been sparking my creativity and sparking my buzz. But I want to do a couple more Irish history ones at the moment. I definitely want to do one on the Troubles, one on the Troubles, one on the something else, the famine. And I'll probably do an updated presidents one next year too, to cover Joe Biden's presidency and add in some more facts along the way about other presidents, and maybe one or two opinions. I always love the ones who are like, hey everybody, I think this guy is biased in this video about Trump. And I'm like, A, it's not an entire video about Trump, and B, I trust my audience. You know, I trust my audience to spot my biases. You know, it'd be different if I was trying to hide my biases, but it's like, yeah, cool, you know. But, you know, to suggest that is like, all right, well, that's biased, therefore I'm not going to take any of it on board. Think critically. If most of it doesn't stand up to criticism, that's one thing. But like, I just really hate that approach of, I don't agree with you on one thing, therefore I don't have to listen to you. You know, because that's a big problem we have in the world. Let's see. Hi, John. Congrats on 10 years. I've been watching you for years. Have you ever considered doing Manny Man Does British Prime Ministers? I mean, I have a little bit. I mean, as much as I think it would be cool, it's very political. But more so, I'm kind of happy enough kind of covering bits of them in the Monarchs video. But it's just like there's so many of them. I suppose maybe like I could start from 1707, like start from the start of Great Britain, the Kingdom of Great Britain, and go from there. And I could do that, and it would probably take maybe 3 parts to do that one. There is also a video actually that I really want to do. It's basically just taking all of my videos and putting them in a big giant chronological supercut and see how that works. It would probably be like a couple of hours, but I'd be really curious to do that, to see how it all works. It would be all over the place, but it would be just fascinating to see it all happen, because there'd be certain things that happen concurrently, which I think would be cool to see. Do you have a kid, according to the video posted earlier today? I do have a kid, yeah, I have a kid. His name is Hugo. He's adorable. Let's see. What historical cities... by the way, just to give you a wee time check, I'm probably going to go in about 10 minutes, because I have to get ready for dinner, and I have to get ready for the match. Yeah. I also have to answer his phone. What historic cities in Europe... What historic cities in Europe and North America are you the most interested in visiting? Ooh, well, ones I'd love to go back to Paris. I was in Paris when I was 17, and I didn't have the proper appreciation for it then. Whereas I'd love to go back now. There's a lot of Normandy actually that I really want to go and visit. A lot of kind of areas around there, just having been doing the stuff on the 100 Years' War. I really want to go visit there. I want to see like Le Havre and Calais, and obviously like a lot of it's very modern now, but still there's a couple of like old castles and stuff I'd love to go see. Where else? There's a lot of Austria. I haven't been to Austria. I'd like to see some places there. I'd love to go back to Prague. Prague was beautiful. And I'd definitely go back to Rome. I was there last December. It was gorgeous. Let's see. I'd like to go to Bruges. I haven't been to Scandinavia at all. I'd like to go to some of the Scandinavian countries. I definitely I'd like to see some of the Polish cities, some of like Gdansk and Warsaw and Wrocław and places like that. I'd like to, I also really want to go and visit Auschwitz, because all of that would be powerful to see in person. But yeah, there's a lot of I've never been to Spain. I'd like to see Barcelona. Let's see. I was criticised the other day for comparing Blackpool to Detroit. I get why one of these places is full of crime and life expectancy is very low, and the other place is Detroit. I don't know Blackpool or Detroit well enough. The very limited things that I would know, I would imagine they're both kind of post-industrial. They kind of used to be these big industrial centres, but have since been allowed to kind of rot away, and now are the butt of loads of jokes and saying how poor those places are. So that's Detroit is one of the only, if not the only, city in America that is directly north of Canada, because the Detroit River curls down underneath Detroit, and you go south across the bridge to Canada, to Windsor. I think that's cool. Did you know Spain sent volunteers for Operation Barbarossa? I did not. That's horrendous. Where did you get the music for your intro? I recorded it. That's myself. I recorded that in the trumpet. And the drum is literally my mouse pad. It's literally me just doing that. It's just it was very it was kind of thrown together, but it worked, and with a wee bit of reverb in there, it all came together. Let's see, will you make John Talks in the future? Yes, I need to do some more John Talks again. I've had one written for ages, and I felt bad about not actually recording it, because it's a very important topic, close to my heart, being trans issues, and just the way that the world is talking about trans people at the moment. So I want to talk about that. You should make a history of feminism video to go in tandem with the civil rights and Stonewall video. That's a great idea. I like that very much. I can kind of go up through the kind of the three waves of feminism, but even kind of looking before that into, like, you could even look into like the witch trials and stuff, and how the whole witch scare in the 1600s, seen as this that comes in tandem with the Enlightenment, because they're like, women are still very much involved in medicine, let's get them out of there, they're witches. That would be a good one. I can't wait for you to get back to Middle Earth. I know. I'm interested in seeing your depiction of the first kinslaying. It's always a sad bit. The thing about that, though, is that new people coming in will be less likely to spot it and will be less likely to follow along. As such, you might be dampering your growth on YouTube. I'll be honest, my growth has been dampered on YouTube for a long while. Like, I have literally been sitting more or less on the same subscribers for the last year and more. Like, some have gone up, but for every ones that go up, there have been others that go down because I'll post something and they're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. So I'm like, alright, fair enough. How dare you make more content? Yeah. I saw my biggest growth would have been through 2017. I think beyond that, my first Presidents of the United States videos, I got a lot of traction from there, and it was from there that I first hit 100,000 subscribers, and I got my silver play button, which is up there, yay. And it was there that so I got 100, and within a couple of months I hit 200,000, and then it pretty much sat at 200,000 for years, and I've been slowly but surely working my way up. Like, I was hoping maybe for this live stream that I would reach 250,000, you know, because I have been just shy of 250,000 for ages, and it's frustrating too sometimes, like, you know, when you watch, like, some people who say even began YouTube during the pandemic and have, like, overtaken your, like, hit 1 million and things like that, and you're just like, obviously they're able to produce a lot more than me, or there's all sorts of different things, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I complain about the algorithm, but I mean, it is frustrating, you know, where you've got 250,000 subscribers but your videos are not being pushed to those subscribers. It's like, it's frustrating. Alrighty, John. Last question. Thoughts on Last Kingdom, depiction of Anglo-Saxons, Danes, Welsh, Scottish, Irish, Celts? I'm going to give you a very short answer for this. I have not seen The Last Kingdom yet, so I cannot really talk about it. But you should do a video on the Balkan Wars, definitely. Most Canadians live south of Seattle. Oh, wow, that's true. That is such a fascinating fact. If that is true, I mean, I assume it's true because it makes sense. Because south of Seattle, you got most of Ontario over there, so that would actually make sense. My wife, on the other hand, is from north of Seattle. She's from Manitoba. Let's see. I think one of the MMDH videos. Oh, Manny Man does. I was like, what the hell is MMDH? Manny Man does history, John. It's the thing we're here celebrating. I've just never seen it abbreviated before. That's the good one. Duh, John. Videos like to see is on the Russian Civil War, yeah. And I did kind of leave that one hanging at the end of the Russian Revolution video, but definitely one. I want to do one on the Russian Civil War and indeed a history of the Soviet Union as well, which I think would be good. It'd be terrible, but it'd be good. I think videos about social history are more important and interesting than conflict history, in my own opinion. I agree with that. But I will also... conflict videos are sadly a lot easier to write and make because there's a lot more geography of army here, army push, army get over here. That was very... no comment on that hand gesture. But yeah, like, you know, there's a kind of ebb and flow to the story, and there's this sparked this war, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and this was the end of the war, and then this happened, and this happened. Whereas I say, like my civil rights video was so long, and fair enough, it needed to be, but it's like, and I could have gone on and on and on. But yeah, no, I do agree they are more important. So I am going to finish very shortly. Your 2021 videos on the presidents and your Watergate videos did well too. Yeah, a lot of those, but again, that's because they're more relevant to the algorithm and it likes those. I was expecting the Watergate video to do a little bit better. I'm still very proud of that video. It was a lot of fun to put together, and I really, really stand by how it turned out. And yeah, I'm very pleased with that one. Remember, it's not about the numbers; it's about the people. That is very true. And don't get me wrong; like I'm not sitting here complaining to you, going, "Oh, how dare people not watch?" Because I'm here and I'm celebrating 10 years. But it can sometimes be frustrating, and especially when you get the comments going, this channel deserves more, and I'm like, thanks. But hey, you're here, and I thoroughly appreciate that. Thank you so much. But come here, folks. I need to go. Final ones. Congratulations on 10 years of amazing. They're such a great resource. Thank you so much. I will leave you at that. Thanks a million. Ciao.